Thank you Spigen for sponsoring this video.
Hey guys, so Google Pixel 10 Pro has better display, smaller bezels, but for some reason I like the Pixel 10 base model better. You see, this year they added a telephoto camera to the base model, but not a lot of people know that that happened at the expense of the ultra-wide and the main camera being a downgrade from the Pixel 9 that I tested last year. Yeah, that's crazy. Practically those two cameras are similar to the Pixel 9a. And you see, for all that camera downgrade on the main and ultra-wide cameras, they added the telephoto one here, which is significantly smaller in size in terms of the sensor size compared to the Pixel 10 Pro. But when you're taking photos during daytime, the internal image processing kicks in, and this is where I personally think the Tensor chips from Google shine really. So let's compare the cameras on these phones, because finally we have 3 cameras here, 3 cameras here, and figure out which one is a better buy. So yeah, let's start. You see, from the first glance, they not only look alike, but also the camera interface is very similar. They pretty much identical until you dig deeper into the settings when you try to adjust the settings manually. Like you see, I clicked in the left bottom corner and there is way more options with the Pixel 10 Pro, and we also have the Pro mode over here, which allows us to choose between the 12 and 50 megapixels, RAW and JPEG options. Also, Pixel 10 Pro gives you more of the manual controls within the phone, and it's actually one of my favorite user interface when you're taking photos. Not only you get the selection of ISO, shutter speed, white balance on the bottom of the screen, but also there is a little bit, menu on top bar, which is really nice if you're on the go. You want to quickly adjust your focus, white balance, make the shot warmer, cooler, but on the Pixel 10 base model, it's not there. Now guys, I don't know if it's Google Tensor or some other problems, but Pixel 10 Pro is really laggy right now. I was trying to take a photo with 2 phones at the same time, and the Pixel 10 Pro froze first for like 20 seconds. I could not, take a picture. Yeah, I could switch between the different lenses by just pressing those buttons, but it wouldn't change anything. And then it happened again next 3-4 minutes, and it froze that time for like a minute, and I was not able to see any preview. Like, it froze completely. So I don't know, Pixel 10 so far works more snappy than this Pixel 10 Pro. I'm a little bit confused. You see, another major difference between these two phones, if you are into photography, is that the Pixel 10 Pro has the RAW photography mode. Let's do 50 megapixels even. And now the same shot. Let's wait for people to cross a little bit more. Now obviously, if you're using JPEGs, then you'll let the phone process the shot for you. The colors and contrast will be decided by the built-in algorithm and computational photography within the phone. And if you're using RAW photos, then in that case you're supposed to edit that. You have to adjust the contrast, colors, and in a way you can squeeze a little bit more out of the RAW compared to the JPEG. Looking at the photos side by side like this between RAW and JPEG, you will not see any difference. You have to spend a little bit more time and effort to color grade the photo and then see how much you can actually, tweak the colors and contrast before the quality just falls apart, because that can happen. And that defines how good of a quality the RAW file is out of pretty much any camera. You see, the Pixel 10 Pro allows you for this new feature. Oh my God, this happened again. I don't know what's going on with the Pixel 10 Pro, but constantly I get this image preview frozen. Like you see, I just opened the camera on both of the phones, but Pixel 10 Pro always gives me this problem. I don't know why it happens. Like you see, it allows me to go between different lenses. I can switch, like click on the focus and exposure, but nothing is really happening unless I go and switch between different modes. I thought the Pixel 10 Pro is supposed to be more powerful, snappy and fast, but so far it already happened with me like 3 times. But either way, I was talking about how much better this Pixel 10 Pro was supposed to be over the Pixel 10 in the zoom department. So you see, when we are in 1x main camera, both phones look pretty similar, although they're supposed to be different as well. But if we go into the 5x telephoto on the Pixel 10 and Pixel 10 Pro, See, Pixel 10 allows me to go up to 20x, 20 times. Let's snap a shot. Now the Pixel 10 Pro can further zoom in up to 100x, which is, hold on, almost there. I want to center it in. Yeah. And then the phone will process the shot. It will take about 10 seconds or so. So it does take a little bit of time, but it happens within the phone. You don't have to upload the photo, wait for the server to process. No, it happens internally. You see the 20 times zoom looks very similar on both Pixel 10 and Pixel 10 Pro. And in a way, Pixel 10 is just limited by the software because they just do not allow me to have this AI enhancement and made it exclusive to 10 Pro only.
The ultra-wide-angle camera is larger on the Pixel 10 Pro. That should make it produce better results in low light. But you know what? Unless it's very limited lighting conditions, the photos coming out surprisingly very similar. Sure, there is a difference in color shift, but it's nothing major to me, to be honest. And in daylight, they're even closer. So from camera hardware standpoint, the base model this year is a downgrade, but on practice, the computational photography makes up for that.
And I personally think if you use these devices for a few days, you will not even see and feel the difference in terms of the speed between these two phones. Like the Pixel 10 base model is not far behind compared to the Pixel 10 Pro. Yeah, the camera hardware might be better on the Pixel 10 Pro, but in a way, the internal image processing on the Pixel 10 makes up for all those, disadvantages in terms of the hardware. So I personally feel like the biggest difference so far after using these phones for a few weeks is mostly in the design, like the way they feel in hand without the case on. Like the Pixel 10 Pro definitely feels more premium with the metal or whatever the material is on the edges over here. But in my regular day-to-day life, I always have the case on the phone. Guys, crazy coincidence, just when I was about to leave to test the Pixel 10 Pro and Pixel 10, I got a new box. I was expecting the box, but I was not sure if it will be delivered today or not. Yeah, so there's also that thing. Okay, box number one, we got you. It's kind of crazy to me that I personally was purchasing some of the Spigen cases like 2-3 years back for the iPhone. That's crazy how this YouTube life works, but hey, I'm liking it. Personal note, thank you so much, guys. Well, that's a lot of the things. So screen protectors for Pixel 10, Pixel 10 Pro. So it's like wallet holder. Cases. Now I can be more reckless with the phone. I was really not aware that cases for the Pixel 10 Pro and Pixel 10 are interchangeable. I would just put this on the ground and somehow it opened. Yo, that's pretty long. That works. Yeah, MagSafe is real. Probably one of the most important updates on this phone. Not so sure as far as the cameras go yet, but this thing is awesome. Okay, the next thing is wireless charging stand. Oh, so there is like 2 modes. Let's see if it's gonna work. Oh, you can hear the fans working. And if you are in the market for a case for your Google Pixel 10, then check out the cases from the sponsor of this video, Spigen. Just overall, check it out. They look very classy, minimal, and what's most importantly, they are all MagSafe compatible. So I can use the wireless charger and all the iPhone accessories that I accumulated over the years. And finally, it is here. Man, what else can I say? The link in the description. So both Google Pixel 10s are full of AI features, and it has even this photography coach, which you probably heard of. So when you try to frame the photo, it will give you suggestions, and sometimes it even creates the AI generated image or another angle which you didn't even think of. So that in a way is cool, but at the same time it feels like this is not a photography camera, it's more of a AI GPT generator within the phone. And instead of typing in prompts, it takes your photos as a prompt and gives you additional angles. You know what I mean? I want to, struggle. I want to look for the shot. I want to, make my gears grind in the head to think about it. Like, to me, this is the most fun thing about photography, is when you try to, come up with new stuff. So it's not always has to come to you very easily, like, new frames, angles, or just creative ideas. You need to struggle, you need to think about it. This actually hurts this whole process, because it's actually the most rewarding and fun part of being someone creative, is when you actually brainstorm these ideas. A few years ago, they were saying AI will take all the mundane and boring jobs from you, and you will be able to do all the fun stuff instead. So now it turns out that this thing takes all the fun out of the photography for me and leaves me the boring stuff. But at the same time, I'm thinking for someone who's never thought about composition, framing, that kind of stuff, this actually might be very useful and could be an easy entry into the hobby of photography. Oh my God, I'm getting so easily distracted with backpacks. I love backpacks, so yeah, okay, what I was saying. So with all these AIs, you have to be very careful in order to preserve your brain. Once you look closer, you see that all three cameras are bigger in size on the Pixel 10 Pro, and that is really important for low light. And you see, if during daytime the 5x telephoto is more or less similar, and I was really struggling to find the difference and tell them apart, but when it is low light, the difference is more apparent. As you see right now, I'm taking the shot on the Pixel 10 Pro. This is 10 times, and the same framing, same everything, 10 times on the Pixel 10. And now if I zoom in, there is much more detail on the Pixel 10 Pro, and it does not seem to be over enhanced by the eye, so there is no this cartoonish effect really. So it looks really clean, I'll have to say. Now you see guys, it's a really good opportunity for me to show you how to squeeze maximum out of your phone, whether you're using Pixel or something else. You see, it's all about the depth. So I'm trying to have layers in the shot, just like so. That's it, done. So here is the photo, and you just see how I have the light in the foreground and the city in the back. It just looks really, really nicely. And you see this kind of depth you can create either with color, by placing two opposing colors in front of each other, or with just physically one subject being closer to the camera and something being further out. So I think this just shows you my cheat code and approach when I take photos on any phone really. Now, as much as I like the photography manual mode on the Pixel 10 Pro, the video though is a little bit underwhelming and bland. So let me show it. MagSafe is right here. Okay, stays in place, awesome. Now you see we're right now in the video auto mode where the phone adjusts everything for you. I don't have anything against it. Actually, for daily life, for Instagram stories, that kind of stuff, it's more than enough really. But sometimes I want to go an extra step, like with S25 Ultra, even iPhone 17, 16 Pro, where you can film in log and you can color grade your videos. And unfortunately, the log here is not present even on the Pixel 10 Pro. So all manual settings that are available here is the flash. Then we have video boost, which is probably something that Google really heavily bets on. That is when you upload your footage automatically, it's done on the phone. We upload this footage to the cloud. It enhances it over time, but to be honest with you, I never had great results with it that I personally like, so I always keep it disabled. Then we can control the resolution, 4K, Full HD or 8K. I will use 4K for the best results and 30 FPS. And now let's install the Pixel 10 base model. I love MagSafe, man. When you're filming on the go with compact tripods like this one, like you want to finish recording, you remove it, you want to start recording, put it back on again. It's really, really nice. So the controls are pretty similar to the Pixel 10 Pro. Here I can select, when I click on the resolution, all my manual settings. So here we have Full HD or 4K. There is no 8K recording on this phone, but 8K on the Pixel 10 Pro is more of an upscale rather than true 8K that you will get amazing results with. For the most part, you will just be getting bigger file size really, rather than you'll gain something in quality or resolution, or like you'll be able to crop on the footage really. So I would stick to 4K on most of these phones. It's more than enough. And here's a little bit side-by-side comparison with the Pixel 10 Pro, and same as with the Pro, I will record with the 5x telephoto lens, so we can really compare them side by side, and that's about it. There is not much else you can control on either of the phones. Yeah, you can adjust exposure or white balance, but that's about it. And same thing with the Pixel 10 Pro. Now also Pixel 10 Pro allows you to film 12-bit DCG RAW videos, but you do need a special third-party app, which I might be actually testing in the future videos. So if you guys want to see me do that, make sure to hit the like button, and if we get let's say 4,000 likes, then I'll make sure to cover that in the future video too. So like and subscribe. Guys, I was just taking pictures off of camera, and I don't know why, but sometimes the preview on the both Pixel 10 and Pixel 10 Pro gets very laggy. I'm not so sure if you can see it, but there is, first of all, a little bit of a delay. I don't screen record anymore. Usually for all my videos, if you watch them, I try to screen record to show you my whole experience with the phone, but here I just disable it completely because it seems like it does affect the performance of the phone. And here it's the same way. I'm not so sure if it is visible on this camera, but in real life it is really bugging me a lot, especially when I'm coming off the professional cameras like this one. Everything is happening almost simultaneously, but here there is a delay. That really speaks a lot about the Tensor chip. It's more for AI and stuff within the phone, to edit the photos on the go, to magic erase stuff. So that's where this chip excels, really. But if you want real performance from the phone, this one feels more like a mid-range. So at the end of the day, which one should you go for? For me personally, I think Pixel 10 base model makes more sense because it's just not as expensive as this Pixel 10 Pro. This phone is in the category of something like S25 Ultra, and it's not as good in performance as Snapdragon chip. Yeah, it has this Google proprietary Tensor chips, but they are more for on-device processing, for photo editing, AI enhancement, that kind of stuff that I showed in today's video. But for regular day-to-day use, I found it a little bit laggy, as you also saw here today. So for me personally, this phone does not make sense as today. So maybe in 6-7 months over time, the price will drop a little bit, and then maybe you can consider this phone if you're a Pixel fan. Pixel base model is just making more sense for me personally. It's more logical, it's more budget friendly, and in terms of the camera, it also provides decent result compared to this Pixel 10 Pro. The only thing you might be missing on the Pixel 10 base model is the low light performance, because here is just better sensor, so you capture more lights, and this super 100 telephoto zoom. But once again, this is more of AI generated zoom, so with that kind of luck, you can take just blurry photo on Pixel 10 base model, just upload it to ChatGPT and ask for AI enhancement, and you will get more or less same thing. So yeah, that's just my opinion. If you are in the market for the case though, check out the Spigen, link in the description, and make sure to check out this video next, and I'll see you there. Bye-bye.